How we doing, guys? Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, we've got some stories from Thailand, Philippines. I'd like to share them out. So if you've got a story, the email will be in the description and I'll get it read out for you.
Okay, today we've got 3 stories, so let's just jump straight into it.
Okay, this one's short and sweet. It's a quite kind of funny story. Things took a turn. But yeah, it's short and it's from the Philippines, so let's get straight into it. This story happened in Manila during the late 1980s. I was staying in a nice hotel that was right next to some go-go bars. One night, I met a really pretty lady in one of those bars. We got along and later she came to my hotel room. While we were taking a shower together, she said she needed to grab something from her bag in the bedroom. She came out of the bathroom and went into the bedroom. Even though I wasn't very experienced with travelling in Asia, I had been through situations like this before, so I wasn't new to it. I felt quite sure about what was happening in the bedroom. I quietly opened the bathroom door and peeked around the corner, and there it was. My lady friend had her back to me, holding my wallet in one hand and a bunch of peso notes in the other hand. I moved carefully, grabbed my wallet and the money from her hands, and then asked her to leave. I gave her 500 pesos. I believe that's the right amount, but it was a long time ago and my memory isn't the best. The usual fee was 500 pesos for a short time. Even though we hadn't done anything yet, she still deserved something. We had initially agreed on 1,500 pesos for the whole night, but now things took a turn. My lady friend got upset and said the money she had was hers, not mine, and she wanted it back. I told her that my wallet was in her hands and the money was mine. I asked her to take the 500 pesos, get dressed and leave. But instead, she tore the 500 peso notes into little pieces and threw them at me. Then she grabbed a bottle of duty-free scotch and threatened to smash the hotel TV. I let her know it wasn't my TV, so she could go ahead if she really wanted to. I told her she had to leave. Luckily the TV was okay. She kept on yelling and screaming, saying she wanted her money back. I had enough of it, so I lifted her up and put her outside the room in the hotel hallway, and she was still naked. Then I picked up her clothes and stuff, opened the door and gave them to her. She kept on screaming and demanding her money back. I want to make it clear that I never hurt her. In fact, I made sure to be really careful and gentle when handling her. She kept on yelling loudly and ranting right outside my door. It got so bad that I had no choice but to call the reception and ask the duty manager to come up to my room because I had a problem with a lady. The lady I was with got dressed and the 3 of us went into my room to talk about what happened. She kept insisting that the money I took from her belonged to her and she wanted it back. Luckily, I had a receipt from when I exchanged US dollars for pesos at the hotel's money exchange earlier that evening. I showed the manager my wallet and the receipt. The manager and the security officer agreed that the money was mine. I'm not completely clueless, so I asked the manager how to fix this. He asked the lady and she said she wanted 1,000 pesos. I agreed. I took out 500 pesos from my wallet and also gathered all the small pieces of paper she had ripped up earlier and handed them to her, but she got upset again. I told her that she tore it up, so it's hers. The manager and security officer both smiled. The security officer walked her out of the room. The duty manager, when I asked, said it wouldn't be a good idea for me to go back to the bars. He advised me to stay inside the hotel for the rest of the night, and I followed his advice. Now here's the surprising part. When I was organising my clothes the next morning, I discovered a lot of pesos in the back pocket of my jeans. It turns out the lady was telling the truth. The pesos I took from her hand probably belonged to her. Wait, did I just take money from a working lady? Why did she have money in one hand and my wallet in the other? Am I really that foolish? The only sensible explanation I can think of is that back then fake money was a big issue in the Philippines. Maybe she was trying to swap my real notes for her fake ones. I still had the money I took from her, and strangely, I never faced any problems spending it, even if it was counterfeit. If anyone has a better idea, I'd love to hear it. Oh, and what happened to the bottle of scotch, you may ask? The next morning, I found the duty manager and I gifted it to him. He handled the situation very professionally the night before, so I think he deserved it. Well, what an interesting story, guys. It's normally the other way around, the guy getting scammed, but this time it sounds like the girl got scammed. Kind of feel sorry a little bit for her, but maybe if she didn't have his wallet in her hand, it wouldn't have gone down like that, because anyone would have thought she was taking money out of it if she's holding your wallet. But yeah, that's kind of a funny story, but let me know what you guys think.
Okay then guys, let's jump into the next story.
Quite another short one today, and it's from the Philippines, about a guy's birthday in Angeles City. So yeah, strap in and let's get straight to it. In September 2022, I went to Angeles City, Philippines with some friends to celebrate my 30th birthday. We stayed there for 10 days. When we arrived, we got a taxi to our condo. The taxi driver asked if we could stop by his sister's massage parlour. We had just landed an hour ago and were surprised to see how many people there talked openly and freely. We finally reached our beautiful condo after talking to at least 5 people on the way. They all told us to check out the walking street. I had been to Angeles once before in 2013 when I was 21, but I didn't remember much from that trip. However, nothing could have prepared us for the amazing time we were about to have. On our first night there, which also happened to be my birthday, we made it to the walking street. Some of my friends went to a regular bar where they had Guinness on tap. The rest of us went to a beer bar. As the night went on, I met a woman named Kim. She was 36 years old, had been divorced and had 1 child. We talked a lot during the night. I mentioned that it was my birthday. When it was almost 12 AM, my friends came over from the other bar and took me to a gentleman's club, but I can't remember the name of the place. It was a place with red lights all around. There were pretty ladies and drinks. I started talking with a few people from other countries and we was all having a laugh. Out of nowhere, the girl I had met at the previous bar, who was dressed differently from the girls, came into the gentleman's club and grabbed my hand, pulling me out. I was surprised how they let her take a customer like me. Later, I found out that the bars in the street were owned by the same person. My friend seemed lost in the moment, and I just followed along, wondering if the girl was feeling jealous. After we left the place, she started kissing me and asked me to find her at the bar. I didn't want to leave my friends, so I said I would meet her at a club where one of my friends was. I went back inside and then 5 beautiful women and my friends dragged me to another club that was open until 3 AM, and I never got to go to the nightclub. The next day we went back to the same area. I was sober and I'd hoped to see Kim again. Surprisingly, she was there and gave me a big hug. I was surprised she remembered me because she seemed quite drunk the previous night, just like the rest of us. She said she had used her money to get me a cake and had waited for me at the nightclub from the night before. I felt really surprised and touched when I heard that she did all of this for me. I thought that she went out of her way to make sure I had a good time. So for the entire week, I hung out with her. We had a few nights of drinking together, trying to make things better. Eventually, we decided to have lunch on her day off. We went to the market. I couldn't figure out how people could drink so much every night for their job. I hoped that during a nice lunch, I could get to know her better. But during that time, I started to see a different side of her when she wasn't drinking. She didn't really talk much, and our friends ended up spending time with my friends for the rest of the trip. Kim kept trying to make me feel bad so I would give her more money. I hadn't paid for anything except the pricey drinks they call lady drinks. When we got to the place she lived, she told me it was her time of the month. After a nice day, I thought it'd be better to just stay over. In the next days, we kept meeting up and I noticed she was really good at making me agree to go back with her. As the week went on, our talk started to focus more and more on money. There was a moment when I couldn't believe how strong my feelings were for her. Even though I had known her for only a few days, it was as if we had been together for months. I realised I was in a tough situation and wanted to get out. So after a few drinks, I told her. She started crying and I tried to make her feel better. Eventually, I left. As the trip was ending, I decided to make things right and leave on good terms. But at the same time, I wanted to enjoy my time on my own. I had a lot of fun. I knew I was just one guy on her list and she would be okay without me. When people say not to take a bar girl too seriously because it's about money, I have to admit it feels like the most realistic thing. Philippines was an amazing experience for me, one of the most beautiful ones. I'm planning to go back there in a few months. So yeah guys, I know it was a short one, but what do you think to that? Sounds like he was catching feelings for the bar girl pretty fast, and you know, they're good at this stuff, they're good at the job. It's what they do. It can be very convincing, but 9 times out of 10 will always end up about money. Keep your wits about you like this guy did. And as long as you have fun and you don't take it too serious, you'll be okay. But it does sound like you had a good birthday, so there is that.
Okay then guys, let's jump into the next story.
So not really a super interesting story today guys, and not really a long one. It's quite short, but I'd like to share it because it's about someone's first experience in Thailand and first experience with a Soapy massage, which was a pretty much success by the sounds of it. So, without further ado, let's get into it. I went to Bangkok for the first time not long ago. I had a great time there for a few days. I saw the cool stuff like the Grand Palace and other fun places during the day, and at night I hung out with a freelancer. After that, I spent 9 days in Pattaya and had a blast. I did lots of cool stuff like getting awesome and affordable massages, walking and jogging by the beach and playing pool with the girls at the bars. I even did some exciting laps at the go-kart track. I made friends with some girls and we still talk. It was a good time. Later, I went back to Bangkok for a couple of days before heading to Phuket. I thought it was time to try a soapy massage. It's an old thing that tourists usually like. I looked it up and I found out some places. In these places, there are fish bowls with lots of girls behind the glass. You can choose a girl by picking a number and she'll give you a massage. These places have different kinds of girls and the prettier ones cost more. There's even a place where you can go up a couple of floors and pay a lot for a really good looking girl. It's a bit much for me though. A massage is just a massage, right? But who knows, I might want to try it one day. Instead, I find some smaller places that offer soapy massages with less fuss. I picked one place and decided to give it a try. Walking around Bangkok is fun because the streets are busy. The only tricky thing is crossing the streets. You have to be really careful because it's risky. The cars might stop, but the motorbikes keep zooming by. I reach the small soapy massage shop and a really nice lady welcomes me inside. The entrance has a few good looking ladies sitting in chairs. I later learned that the lady who greeted me is one of the more experienced massage girls and sort of manages the others. On that evening, she was really friendly, super beautiful and makes me feel welcome right away. We hit it off well. She invites me to sit on the couch and tells me about the different things they offer. She gives me a menu just like you'd get at a restaurant. It's a little book with pages that are covered to keep them nice, and it clearly says in simple words what they have. They have prices for massages that last 30, 60, 90 or 120 minutes. I'm listening and starting to really like the girl who's explaining everything. I'm so into her positive vibes. I don't need to see the other girls. I ask if I can get a massage with her because she looks so awesome. But she says she's kind of like a boss tonight, so I'll have to choose one of the other girls for now. An Asian guy comes in, a tall good looking guy in his 30s. He sits down on the sofa with a lady in the middle. She talks to him a little and then she gives a sign. Suddenly, like magic, 6 or 7 pretty girls come out and stand in front of us. They all look nice but none of them catch my eye like the lady who explained everything to me. The Asian guy looks at the girls but doesn't seem to like any of them. He says he'll come back later, but everyone knows he won't. He stands up and goes towards the door. The girls are still standing there and I feel a bit awkward because I'm not sure who to pick. I don't see the girl I really like among them. She's sitting right next to me. I think for a moment and decide to be honest. I tell her that I don't really like any of the other girls, so I'll leave. I mention that if she's available, I'd like her to massage me, but if not, I do understand. She thinks about it and then says she'll do the massage. I'm super happy because I already like her a lot. She's really good looking, friendly, and we get along well. I checked the menu again and chose the longest massage, which is 2 hours. Let's call her Kwan. Kwan tells me about an extra option. I can pay 500 baht more for a VIP room. I ask her what it is and she says it's a bigger, fancier room with a bigger TV, a bigger tub and nice decorations. I think about it and she says the larger room would be great for a 2-hour massage. I agree and I book the room. Now I've chosen the best service with the girl I'm really sure will do a great job. I pay the fee and also get a beer for an extra 100 baht. We go to the back of the place and up the stairs to the VIP room. The room is big and nice just like Kwan said. She fills up the bathtub with water and turns on the big TV. Then she goes downstairs while I get undressed. She's gone for a while, maybe telling another girl what to do while she's in charge. It's hard to know for sure, but I think Kwan is around 35 years old, while most of the other girls seem to be in their late 20s. Kwan finally comes back when I'm standing there with no clothes on, not really interested in the TV and looking forward to spending time with her. The bathtub is almost full and she suggests we take a shower before getting in. There's a shower right next to the tub, probably to keep the water clean. So we shower and then Kwan puts bubble bath stuff in the tub. We both get in the tub together. She gives me one of the best soapy massages as I've ever had. While she's massaging me, we talk, joke and laugh. We're having a really good time. This goes on for a while and I realise my feelings about Kwan were right. The connection I feel with her is real and our time together is really nice so far. Eventually we need to get out of the tub, dry off and move to the dry bed. She asks if I want gel or oil for the body to body massage. I'm not sure what's better, so I ask in a hopeful voice looking for her approval. She nods and says gel is good. Next comes the massage with the gel. Kwan is really good at it. This goes on for quite some time and is just as wonderful as the fun we had in the tub. Then Kwan grabs a towel, cleans off the gel and tells me to turn over so she can massage my other side. It was a perfect time with a beautiful, kind and skilled Thai woman. When we finish, there's still a bit of time left so we chat with each other. I find myself looking into Kwan's eyes and smiling a lot. What a wonderful experience. My first soapy massage was a great success. I exchanged contact information with Kwan and definitely I'll find her again the next time I'm in Bangkok. Well guys, what do you think? Can you remember your first time having a Soapy massage? Or your first time in Thailand in general? It's normally the one you don't really forget, so yeah, it's nice to hear he had a good experience and with the girl that he wanted to. Hopefully he does some searching and travelling around and it doesn't get attached to this Kwan like a lot of people do and then fall in love and you know the rest. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you've got anything to say about that story. I know it's a quick one and not super interesting, but I do like to share people's first experience with things in Thailand. So if you have a story or an experience you want to share, the email will be in the description of this video and I can read it out for you. As always guys, thanks for listening and I'll catch you next time.